Yo, what's up everyone? This is James and reading English 100 Days Challenge. Today is day 32. What had defined modernist haute couture fashion? The uniqueness of the design, fine finishing techniques, unblemished surfaces, exquisite tailoring, and hand sewing gave way to the predominance of mass-produced prédateur clothing. This new culture of dress actually appeared to mock the exclusivity of the earlier modernist fashions. Undoubtedly, the powerful clothes of Yamamoto and Kawakubo established the dominant aesthetic in the early 1980s. Fashion historian McDowell argued that the Japanese designers made a few concessions to traditional Western ideas of dress, chic, or beauty, and their clothes were as much a statement of philosophy as they were of design. According to Coda, a new form of anti-fashion had emerged. By placing this revolution in fashion within both an historical and pre-modernist within both a historical and postmodernist context, other interesting analogies can be drawn. One could argue that postmodernist fashion relies on visual paradox. Underclothing becomes overclothing. New is replaced by old, and propriety in dress is replaced by a total lack of respect for the display of status and value systems. In itself, this becomes an exercise of self-reflection for the individual and society as a whole. What do we value in today's society? Arguably, highly priced, slashed, and torn garments symbolize an economic irrationality. Does this type of clothing become a form of social difference? A parody about excessive commodification in contemporary society? Is this how it might have been perceived by the Western eyes placed within a symbolic and philosophical concept? Could the actual deconstruction of fabric and finishing techniques also reflect the deconstruction of past values within the context called as label, defining this new concept of dress as aesthetics of poverty seem to aptly describe the new dress code. It can be argued that this Japanese influence upon young international designers has been both direct and obtuse. Mr. Akiko Fukai, curator of the Kyoto Costume Institution, which holds the largest fashion collection in Japan, feels that the international trend, which began in the 1980s for young women to wear long black street dresses, flat black boots, white ankle socks, no makeup, and unevenly cut hair, was a direct result of the impact of Yamamoto and Kawakubo. In fact, she argued that the introduction of this postmodernist version of the little black dress was their most outstanding contribution to the international design in the 80s, as it was adopted as a classic look by women around the world. in both the direct and indirect ways. Yamamoto and Kawakubo. Yamamoto and Kawakubo encouraged typically anti-fashion postmodernist trends in young designers by producing garments which defined all codes of haute couture, no hems or finished edges or to skirts or jackets except the direct edge or the scissor cut. Ill-fitting garments where seams wander as they please, and in Kawakubo's case, painted portraits inserted in the most unconventional places between the bust and the shoulder, over the belly and on the shoulder blade at the back of the garment. And that's all for today, and see you